Okay, now I don't know any geometry, but I'm going to see if we can. Does anybody like to play games with me who watches this? Oh God, every time it gets in the screen. The screen is here. Okay, here it is. We start off with the 2 dice. If you look at the 2 dice, it goes right into the 3 dice. If you look at the 4 dice, the 2 dice goes into the 4 dice, okay? And the 4 dice, okay, goes into the 5 dice. And the 4 dice goes into the 6 dice. But you see that dice below? It doesn't exist. The reason why, did I show you the 1 dice yet? The light's reflecting off the paper. Okay, there's the 1 dice. The 1 dice goes over the 6 dice and creates what looks like a 7 dice. In all actuality, it doesn't exist. Now, if you take the 2 dice from above and put it into the 3 dice, but now the 3 dice, instead of the arrow going from one side left to bottom right, it is now going from bottom left to top right. It is the same dice. You put the 2 and the 3 together, you get the 5. Why didn't it work before? Well, let me explain to you. 2, top left-hand corner, this is a tic-tac-toe game, these dice, okay? That number is number 1, okay? It's pointing over towards the 9 in the bottom right of the 2 dice. That is a creation. What came of a creation? But they can't get together. They're an explanation, okay? But in that explanation, I turn the 3 dice sideways, saying that there is a creation, where the dot is in the top right, is the 3 spot, connecting to God. God is connecting to something to create. He puts it in the 2, and now you have the Spirit of God in the center, pulling all 4 corners together. The first one is the Spirit he used. The third one in the third position is the number 3. All he did was with the Spirit, is he made magic, he created. And in the 9th position is the birth. Now the empty spots is what he created. 2, 4, 6, and 8. He created the world with soul, okay, plants, nature, a dome where things can live, and then he recreated man's spirit to grow from the seed up from this planet. Okay, what I also want to show you is the same thing as the dice, is this is what the dice looks like. You see that snowflake there? That's 3 of 4 ways that man can go to that 5 dice on the 5 corner. Okay, if that was the 5, you see the 4 snowflakes? Okay, 1 in each corner, plus the center one making the 5. Okay, if I put it this way, now you have a north-south line in the center, but there's no snowflake on it. There's no snowflake on that center line, okay? Have you ever played the game Jacks? There's little jacks and they have X's in them. Take a look at those jacks. On 4 of the corners there's balls. On 2 of the corners there's a line, but it's empty. Okay, there's a reason for it. I can't get into it right now. There's so much. There's so much. Once you start to learn, thank you, MrTacpans's. Without him, what do I know? Anyways, in all actuality, like I was saying, here's the tic-tac-toe board, and they're the same thing. It's a snowflake. That's the all actuality of the snowflake. The in between the snowflake is the cobwebs of the spirit as it comes down and it twirls and it hits the what we call is mist and humidity. Anyways, at the same time, do you think that's anything special? Look at this. The mug and David fits right in to this snowflake over here. They're the same thing. All these 3 things. All these 3 things, the same thing. Okay? What I also want to say about the dice, okay, is that it's 3 dice with 1 over top, which you call the 1 dice. But if you look at the 1 dice, the position of the 1 dice, match it up against your telephone, it's in the 5 position. Area 51, the connection of the total spirit of the matrix from above and below and from the east and the west and the northeast. It's covered all 12 directions, just like your Illuminati. Why 12? Don't worry, there's 12. 12 tribes, 12 hours and a half a day, 12 of those hours for the soul. In all actuality, the soul gets more. I think the soul gets 60 60 times 24 is 12. 14.4 hours. That's really funny because there's 1,440 minutes in a day. Anyways, I'm going to show you something else. Somebody once questioned me, what is 622.6? Well, on this day, August 7th at 1 a.m., I will reveal to the world, for those few who might want to know, the reason for 622.6 is right here. Now what this is 3 dice cubes. There's 6 on each dice cube. World 10, World 10, World 10. All World 10s, okay? But when you point the 2 worlds of the heavens connected to that one world becomes 20 more. So this is our beta world, the 2 of Zion that we live in. So we have 3 dice cubes, 18. Now look at the center dice cube. If I can hold it steady for a second. Do you notice it sort of looks like, not a Stanley Cup, but there's a space in between? Well, what happens is the center dice that we live gets part of the upper world and gets part of the lower world, and then it makes our world. And then what happens, okay, where the numbers 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 are, they combine. So it shows in the world we live in the one spirit connection, number 7, God is there. Then it shows over to the right, in the 9 position, 3 is there, creation, birth. Then we go below the 5, we see the 7 and the 9 on each of its sides. It means God's creation on both sides, okay? And at the same time, the reason for 622.6 is because the blue world also, okay, counts, okay, for the 4 corners. 7, 9, 7, 9, 7, 1, 3, and 9. Because man is his own God in his mind. Man creates and gives birth a woman. 7, he is the God. So he's exactly like the other world. So now when you want to know where's 30, it's right here. The correctional center is actually 20. So that would make a total of 50. The 50 years of the golden eagle, the 50 years, everybody's talking about the 50 years, or what about the 40 years? Well, in simple sense, we're only going to count the beta world, okay, after we count the first 2 worlds. 10 and 10. That makes 20. Because it's 20, we give it to the beta world. We call the beta world 20. Add it to 20, you have 40. So that would be the 40 days of Moses. But if I turn it this way, okay, now it reveals the beta world and the 2 heavens, because the 2 will go up here and the 8 will go down here. And you have the other 40 of Moses at night. So you have the 40 days of Moses during the day and at night. The 40s, the 50s, the 30s, whatever it is, there's clues all over the place. I find them all the time. What else did I want to say about that dice? You do know that we can turn the dice both ways. Now I'm holding up my work. See the 2 ways of the dice? Well, they don't only work that way. They also have to be designed, okay, because they have to actually be designed. You see now, you see this world? Okay, now you see the other one? I'm going to try and make the same design. Let me show you how it works. Same design? You get it? The dice has to be separate. If the dice is not separate, we can never connect those spots. They don't connect on either of these dice. So unless we have the 3 worlds, there is no connection. Do I have to make myself more clear? Oh my God. I went to Granby Zoo today. I went nuts. I started seeing the colors in the animals, and you know what I was thinking about? That old oak tree. Tie a yellow ribbon around that old oak tree. Oak, doesn't that have a reddish color inside of it? Where is oak from? Talk about the trees, the leaves. Talk about the roots. Anyways, let's not get into that. I want to finish with the dice. Okay? So anyways, what happens, okay, is I'm going to show you. 622.6 goes like this. I'm going to show you on this dice here. Okay, there are 3 dice. Okay, as you see, I darkened in and they overlap the center dice. 3 dice makes 18. Okay, now you count the darkened centers. Okay, spots 19, 20, 21, 22. So you have a 6 dice making 22 spots of a 6 dice. And those are the 3 worlds, the beta world in which we live. We are intertwined and tied. We are in a ride. It is so crazy. Now let me tell you the other part that I'm a little complicated with, is that everything I do has to be multiplied by 4. So the 22 you had for the 22 of the worlds, well, that's got to be 88. Because don't forget, the dice turns. So for every time the dice turns, that world turns with it. So it turns 4 times, right? Because the north and the south are taken. The south is taken by the soul, and the north is taken by the spirit. They attach the 2 together. So those are gone. But if the 6 is on top and the 1's on the bottom, or the 1's on top and the 6 is on the bottom, it doesn't matter. 3, 4, 5, 6 is in between. And talking about 3, 4, 5, 6, which is really funny, creation. The number 3, okay, the letters on the old telephone that are on the number 3 are D, E, F. D, E, F are the letters on 4, 5, and 6. Death. They connect with the angel, the angles, the 4 parts in order for creation of man, in order to create here. Okay? So they contain 4, 5, and 6 in the 3. And that's actually what happens. Once it's created and there's the burst, in the 3 is explained the 4, 5, and 6. God has more than one way of doing this. But anyways, let me get back to, I wish I found my mouse. Okay, let me get back to, what was I talking about? Wow, I lost my spot. Oh, yes. Okay, so since we have 622, 6, we also have 688, 6 of 4. There's 4 dice, don't forget. That 1 dice had to be put in. That gets connected. Don't worry, we'll get to that later. Okay, so we have 88. Now you know we can only go in the X direction, okay, which will give 2 worlds, okay, and now we go east-west on our own blue world, on our own die. It can't be done with the other dies. That makes the 3rd world. 88 plus 3, 91. S-P-I-R-I-T. S19, P16, I9, R18, I9, T20. Total 91. Add the ace to king in any suit. Ace in 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 21. And 7 and 28 and 36 and 45, 55 to the 10, 91. There's 91 suit images, okay, each set of the cards, okay. The word spirit is 91. The piano, 36 black keys, 52 white keys, 3 pedals, 91. 88 without the 3 pedals. Didn't Fred Flintstone play that piano game once, 88 fingers? Anyways, 91 shows up everywhere. Not only that, there are 4 suits. Each suit adds up to 91. 91 times 4, 364 dots. But wait, there's 365 and 366 days in a year. Well, take each suit and gratify this world with each suit 1 day for each year. So there are 4 suits. So for 4 years, I gratify this world and add a day. But wait, where did the 366th day come? Ah, that is to gratify man. The 2 stems coming off of the black club and black spade are the connection of the matrix inside of us. That's what makes us who we are. That's the black and white of man. Don't you see it? There's so much to learn. There's so much. You couldn't see a happier guy sitting in front of a camera, talking to himself, expressing the way he feels and the way his mind sees things, because it's starting to work out. It's working out with numbers. It's working out. 91. There's 366 days with the stands. 366 days with man.